ChatTGR, Dan here.
Mick here, hello. It's
Return of the Mick.
it's kind of like that pedal show, except not.
I'm here though.
And
That's not.
we do.
unnatural,
Lizzie
Joe.
on the knobs.
Hey, to have a producer, I mean, this is new.
I know.
And I have to say, Lizzie, fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, she does a wonderful job.
Dan has managed to scrape the bottom of every barrel he's got, and he found me.
No, I was really touched that you would come down and do this. It's wonderful.
You
mate.
kidding?
Thank
Why haven't you asked me earlier? Basically, is what.
Jake and Joe are just going to be sad that they've missed it.
Oh yeah, where are Jake and Joe?
They've got a gig.
Ah,
They're proper musicians.
that's rock and roll.
Out doing proper music things.
Well, welcome everybody.
Yes, welcome.
to my new. No, it'd be good. We might be able to talk about something different.
Yeah, it'd be great. So
Don't think so.
what we'll do, and when people can ask anything, and we'll jump in and we'll just chum on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Has there been any pedal news this week?
Pedal news. Well, the big pedal news. The first thing that needs to be said is we announced today this, which is the new AB Baby.
Oh, I'm here to do gig
There you go.
marketing.
There we
That's what I'm
go.
here for.
There's some images on there, Lizzie, as
There
well.
are.
But there it is, the new AB Baby. It's a groovacious thing.
Smaller,
Smaller,
sexier.
sexier, and it has the new transformerless balanced isolation on output 2, which is probably, amongst other things, one of my proudest moments coming up with that.
It's one of those things. When Dan first explained it to me, I was like, TLDR as usual with me when it comes to technical stuff. And but then when I heard it, I think in Atom,
Yeah,
it's like, oh,
yeah,
because I was always used to a very slightly different sound on one of the outputs.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind it. It's
Yeah.
not like wasn't.
it was like, well, so what's interesting
in any
is-
way unhappy about it. But
because it was like a Lon Peters buffer thing, and you probably more than anyone I know are so sensitive to buffers. And buffers can work, but they've got to be right.
yeah,
And as soon as we did it, and I swapped out the backboard in your Atom, because you still have the first Atom. But then and it swapped it out, and it's like, your guitar sound, I think, is still my favorite guitar sound I've heard through our rig. You and Andy Timmons probably tied.
oh mate, he's been kind, and he has a short memory.
But so on experience days, Mick will spark up his 2-rock and a Marshall or something else epic.
Or two rocks down.
Or two rocks. That's
Four-
right. The
four
TS1
rocks.
and the custom reverb signature. Is that not even right? Signature reverb custom.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Two rocks.
Two rocks.
I tuned out. It's ridiculous.
And it's one. Oh
it's
man,
ridiculous.
it's
And
wonderful.
We're very lucky and very privileged to do that. Anyway, look, come on, back to the program.
Yeah.
So smaller,
It's got the sexy output, but it's also
phase and the hum killer
an
button.
earth lift. Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, and it's also there's 3 different modes of operation. So you can either have it so each foot switch just looks after each output.
Yeah.
You can have it so it just flip flops between the two,
Yeah.
or you can have it that foot switch A flip flops and foot switch B just turns them both on.
Oh, cool.
So it's like every possible mode of doing the A/B switching you've got in there.
It's kind of interesting, that, isn't it? It's one of those things that people who are into UI and do testing on that stuff, different people's brains work differently to how they perceive things like this.
Yeah.
And something that seems really a real world example. Which way do you scroll on your mouse? Like for me,
Oh man,
for me, it's one way up and down. For Catherine, it's the opposite. And,
Yeah.
And her, everything about her neurology or whatever it is means that it has to be the other way, which you don't want to do if you're in a plane. Or
aren't
just,
PCs generally one way and Macs another? Because I did do some work on a PC the other day, and I'm like, well, this is just weird.
I think you can. I think on any
sure you
computer
can change
you
it.
can configure it. But I think that's interesting with UI, and to the point, to have every option means that you don't have to work hard. Your brain doesn't have to work too hard to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because guitar players.
Yeah, so there you go. That was that was our day. And
Congratulations.
oh, thank you. Thank
It's
you very
nice.
much.
The smallness is nice.
It's cool, right?
Tell you what else I really like is that you've put the switches a long way apart.
Yeah.
Because one of the issues with smallness
Absolutely
is large,
Yep.
large feet.
Yep.
Who are we saying hello to then, Lizzie?
We've got lots of lovely people on.
Yay.
We have Elbus Band. We've got
G'day, mate.
Raph,
Aaron.
Richard Pribanow, Todd Roy, obviously BV is with us.
Hey,
always.
BV. Hey, buddy.
Scott Curry, happy birthday, Dan, and greetings to
Oh,
all.
thank you,
Oh,
mate.
yeah, it was Dan's birthday this week.
It was my birthday.
Michael Gilbert said, wow, a double shot of live Dan and Mick this week. Dan, you're giving us a present and it's your birthday. Matt Swanton and Kay Cole, Simon, lots and lots of
Oh,
people.
lovely.
Adventures in
Nice.
Gearland.
Thanks, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here.
Sword has said, I have a new humdinger with the isolation technology. It works brilliantly.
No, thank you, mate. Yeah, it's, you know what? I mean, I won't keep banging on about it, but it's something that I have been, it's in the back of my mind for 20 years. Because every time I would use, an isolation transformer, and we use them for a long time, and they're brilliant. They're great. But I would always hear people say, oh, yeah, I really love the sound of this transformer. And I'm like, no. But what you're saying is this transformer is changing my sound.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not is irrelevant. It's changing something.
Yeah.
And I was like, and there had to be a way. And I remember was sat upstairs in the back corner and using a DI and just testing out some balancing stuff. And then we just developed our new power supply, which does some really cool things, and worked out a way to internally balance the circuit and do proper isolation without any transformers. And it was like, ding, 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 ding. Because I've been working with engineers. This is interesting, right, about engineers. I've been working with engineers for 20 years. And every engineer that I've talked to about this problem said it couldn't be done.
Oh, wow.
Because they think, I love engineers, don't get me wrong, they're amazing.
And somewhat necessary.
And absolutely necessary. But there's one thing about the team of a creative and an engineer when you can get together and talk the same language.
Yeah.
And yeah. Anyway.
It's one of those things, and it's very hard to explain, and you don't know until you know. I was talking to somebody this week in Germany, a lovely guy called Gerhard Schwartz Custom Guitars, who's really, really gone to town on hardware, on guitar hardware. And he's done a lot of reverse engineering of old hardware to look at the metallurgy. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Basically
Metallurgy.
deconstruct all the alloys and everything to really learn about this stuff. And he was telling me stuff about brass and the various aluminium alloys that were used for, and from a marketing perspective, you just couldn't explain that to anybody.
No. The geekier you go, the more you lose them.
Yeah.
You've got to
Really? Welcome to the pedal show.
Yeah. No, it's so interesting. I remember, well, going back to the early days of gig rig and how we met. So Mick was the editor of a magazine called Guitar Buyer, and back in 2004, it was 21 years ago, man. 21 years ago.
Properly crazy.
Yeah.
Rosie was 5 yesterday.
You're joking.
I know, it's just mad. And funnily enough, on this Friday's That Pedal Show, we're doing a revisit of a challenge we did.
Yes.
9 years ago. Anyway, let's not remind everyone how old we all are.
No.
By the way, I haven't seen it yet, but I did wear my T-shirt in honour of the new film. So
Oh, fantastic.
Polymer Records tee on, and if you don't know what that is, you're not cool enough.
I remember.
It's Spinal Tap's record company, just that, in case you're...
Do you remember when Rabia came over?
Yeah.
He was staying at yours, and he'd never seen Spinal Tap. And we're like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing tonight. So we had a couple of beers. And Mick and I, Rabia can't hear the film because Mick and I we're just quoting every single line.
It was mostly you, to be fair.
And wetting ourselves. And just, I think Rabia thought I'd had a stroke. It was, yeah.
That was the nightmare before COVID.
That was
the day before COVID,
that's
wasn't
right.
it?
Before,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Lockdown.
Yep.
Wow. Anyway, we've got any questions coming in?
We do have a few.
Otherwise, we'll be talking crap for the next hour.
Richard has asked Dan, any plans for a stereo quartermaster?
So we have been getting, this question's becoming more and more prevalent. I think it's tricky because we have had, when we first launched the quartermaster back in, I think it was 2007, 2007, possibly 2008. Originally, the quartermaster was a modular thing. So we designed a whole bunch of where the circuit board goes. You could have one of the elements be tap tempo. One of them could be an A/B switcher. One of them, and then we also had stereo loops.
Oh wow!
So you could design your own quartermaster.
Huh.
No one bought it, but the complexity in putting that stuff together and the stereo thing, because it had to be TRS.
Yeah.
And it was really tricky. But I mean, if there's interest in it,
could you, for example, put 2 stereo loops on the end that are configurable depending on, so you could have mono or stereo?
Yeah, but the way you'd have to do that,
because you can do that. Oh no, but then you'd need some business.
You need dip switches to be able to select it, because you can't just sum a stereo. You can't just ground one of the sides of a stereo output because of the current. But it's possible. Look, if I'd be interested to see if anyone else is interested in that. The quartermaster, I mean, it was really interesting. Saw a picture with Rick Beato at David Gilmour's studio, and I'm like, I know those foot switches. And then zoom in, it's 3 QMX6s in David Gilmour's rig in his studio. There are not many artists who move the needle. You know what I mean? There are not many artists who, don't get me wrong, they're amazing, and I'm honored to have every single person using our stuff. As soon as that picture came out, we sold out of quartermasters.
You're kidding me?
No.
We're among friends, right?
Yeah.
I find that so depressing.
Do
you think? Okay, here's 2 theories for you to consider.
Okay.
Theory number 1.
Yep.
No one has any idea what the stuff does. Gilmour uses it, so they buy it. Right?
Yeah.
That's the depressing side of the theory.
Yeah.
The second side of the theory is I've been thinking about this. I kind of know what it does, but I don't know whether to push the button. Gilmour uses it. Done.
Yeah.
Do you think it's
I think it's that one.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's that one.
Fair
because
enough. Not depressing. Then.
No. So because what I mean by that is there's a handful of artists who do move the needle. You know, Andy Timmons does, David Gilmour. But it's interesting. It's like Trey Anastasio from Fish. He does.
He moves the needle.
He moves the needle.
Wow.
You know, it's and there's a handful of, Clapton. There's a handful of those big artists that move the needle. But the Gilmour effect has been.
That's great.
It's amazing
and well deserved, Daniel.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thank you very much. But I remember, like, back in the day when we first had quartermasters, and I'll never forget, you said to me, "This should be on every pedal board."
Yeah. I was just about to say the same thing, so at least I don't repeat myself.
But also, and when we built the Captain Lee Anderton's board, and that was a moment because he was so, he wasn't cynical, but he was like, I don't believe this. And then those words that said, if I hadn't heard it myself, I wouldn't have believed it.
You don't know until you know.
You don't know until you know.
Two examples I remember clearly, and TPS viewers will remember this, but one was Matt Schofield.
Yeah.
Where you did the first one for Matt, and he was like, oh, wow, I've had to turn like my amp down and my overdrive pedals all down a notch.
Yeah.
Because the increased clarity and separation that I'm getting is, and in some ways it was like almost too much because he was so used to what he was used to.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Kirk Fletcher, and there's that bit on the Welcome to TPS video where he's like, there's no noise. And,
he goes, is this on?
Yeah. What? There's no noise. Are we like, yeah, that's what it does. That's what it does.
Yeah.
And it's funny, isn't it? It's funny how we will, again, you don't know until you know, and how long you will put up with that problem because you don't know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you make the jump, you make the investment, you do the thing, and then you turn the rig on and it's like, oh, wow, this is a new day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess we all have those moments.
Yeah.
Like when you buy your first really good quality lawnmower.
So this is a thing.
And I am still on the search for the perfect sock. I spent 20 minutes today in TK Maxx. I had a really lovely day today. I got up. I had to have an alloy wheel fixed on my car. And that was early. And it was kind of halfway between home and here. So I thought there's no point going home again. So I've just been a free man today, which is the first time I've done that in probably a year. Anyway, I just perused a few Emporia for items.
Right.
And I remain in search of the perfect sock.
Okay. But TK Maxx is a wonderland.
It's a smorgasbord.
It is.
I was also researching an upcoming challenge for that pedal show.
Are you getting the drones out again and fireworks and stuff? No?
I'm never going to do that again.
Okay.
Been there, done that. No more good work.
Okay, next question.
All right.
Thank you.
This is from Nimrod.
It was deliberate.
I've been toying with the idea of possibly using G3S to control live gig lighting / visuals. Have you guys tried this? Any pointers?
Yeah, so if you've got a MIDI controlled lighting rig, you can send out PC messages and even CC messages for dimmers and stuff via G3. And I know a couple of people who have done it, and it works great.
Does it integrate with the DMX system?
Yes, if DMX that have got a MIDI, then it does.
That's really cool.
It's very interesting. There are a couple of one guy was a soloist, but he was playing quite big gigs, and he wanted to be able to control his lighting rig. And it's like, how good is the MIDI on this? It's like, yeah, it's really good. It's like, and then sends us clips.
So there's literally a case of configuring your foot switches to send the correct MIDI message to whatever the DMX machine wants to see in order to change your lighting, right?
Every foot switch on G3 can send 25 MIDI messages at the same time. So it will send everything to your pedals as well, and then send MIDI message out to your lighting. I mean,
that's madness.
It is madness, but it's fun.
For those of you who are really adventurous, you could do pyro as well. Just saying.
Okay. There's a video.
There's a video.
That brilliant. All right. Well, okay. I love that.
Oh man, this is endless. Pub gigs will never be the same.
Gav Thorpe has asked Mick. Speaking of hardware, did Mick get his Bigsby?
I did.
He did.
Who was that from? Gaz?
Gav Thorpe.
Gav. Oh, Gav, how are you, buddy? The aforementioned Gerhard Schwartz from Schwartz Guitars in Germany, he sourced it for me. I mistakenly said on the clip that it was an original 60s one. It's not. It's probably a 70s one. But as Gerhard informed me, American Bigsbys did not change at all until later in the 80s.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
Even though it might not be a 60s one, it is exactly the same. And apparently, all importantly, modern Korean Bigsbys are flat on the bottom. So Far Eastern Bigsbys, I don't know if they are Korean, are flat on the bottom. Old American ones are curved.
Nice.
And some other stuff, what they're made of, etc., makes all the difference.
But
apparently.
are they all curved? Like even the ones that went on the tallies and stuff?
Well, there's different kinds. So I'm talking about the B7.
B7, okay.
And I am now out onto ice that I don't understand. I'm merely repeating a fact that I was told. So the B7 particularly, which has obviously got the B7 has the longer plate, and you'd see that on Les Pauls, and then others have a much shorter plate, and you see them on other guitars, but apparently really important. And yes, I have got it, and yes, I am making a video on changing it.
I'm really excited to try this.
I'm excited.
Simon, our old producer, was in on Tuesday, and I was filming some the AB Baby. Bless him, he got that video out really quick.
Oh, he's done it.
He's done it. It's out. Went out today. I mean, it's 1 minute and 40 seconds long.
Right.
It took me 9 hours to edit it, but I had to do some graphics and stuff.
Oh, I see.
But he brought in his 1964. Is it a Casino? Yes. And the Bigsby on that is magical, and you can hear it. And it's like, I know exactly what it's going to do to your 345, and it's already one of the grooviest guitars I've ever played.
Yeah.
I am just going to be, once I hear the Bigsby on that, I'm going to sell everything and find either a Casino or something like that.
I'll talk about it in the video that I make about it, but Gerhard has told me some things about Bigsby's I did not know about fitting them, about how they have to be set up. So I'll share all that when we do the video. But yes, thank you, Gav. It has arrived, and I'm fizzy because the patina on it, the aging is exactly matches all the rest of the gold hardware, and it is.
You wouldn't believe it wasn't original to that guitar.
Perfect. Well, there is one problem in that the original Gibson ones didn't have.
You don't say no. You don't need to say.
Didn't have the black in the where it says Bigsby, but this one does. That's okay. That's okay.
Simon's got the same thing on his.
Yeah,
but it's a Casino. Does that matter?
It's an Epiphone. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of them did, or later they did, but it's okay. It's a player.
Are you sure? You don't sound like it's okay. Are you sure it's okay? Peter has said, is there a gig rig device akin to the Sir Mini Mix 2 that would convert a series loop to parallel? Just got a Wetterbox, wish it performed that function.
The Wetterbox does perform that function.
Exactly does that.
Yeah.
You might have to enlighten us as to what you mean specifically, because we might have misunderstood the question a bit.
Yeah. See if he comes up in.
That's exactly what it does.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
completely.
Peter, let us know more.
On the Wetterbox, you've got, if you just want to mix two signals, put the signal in the return of loop A and the return of loop B, and there you've got your mix. And not only that, you've got gain control over the return on both sides. You can either blend between one and the other, or you can keep loop A at constant and blend B in on top of A. So, yeah.
What was the product he mentioned, Lizzie, please?
It was the Sir Mini Mix 2.
Sir
SUHR, I might be saying.
That's it.
Yeah.
So,
you know it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just wasn't sure if it had some functionality we weren't aware of. But
yeah, no, it'll do exactly
I don't know.
that. And also because of you can use it with instrument level, you plug your guitar straight into it, or you can use preamps from your amps and do the same thing, because the headroom in it is just incredible. I was going to say insane them, and for some reason I thought I can't say that now.
You can.
I can. I am allowed.
You can say insane.
Octopus Ears has asked, have you guys tried any of the Gibson Les Paul Light series before? Best of both worlds, No Man's Land. What do you think?
It's difficult because we are such fans of vintage Gibsons.
I'm trying to remember what is light about them. I don't think they're just weight relieved, are they? Don't they use thin bodies, maybe?
Right.
You might have to enlighten us on that. But
I remember when I first played the studio, which is all weight relieved and stuff, and it's like
depends.
Yeah.
On era.
Yes, but I remember it being a great modern guitar.
Yeah.
Then playing a vintage correct Les Paul, and it's like wildly different, and vastly preferring one above the other. But that's just, maybe I'm just old.
But my conversation with Gerhard yesterday, we talked quite a lot about, so, I've been doing guitars professionally for 30 years now as my job, right? So in that time, having met a lot of people and having had a lot of conversations with a lot of people and played a lot of guitars, what I learned yesterday blew my mind. and it's like, oh wow, it never stops.
Yeah.
So, and I'll share some of that in the video, in the upcoming videos. But what Gerhard said was, you might not like my stuff. If you want your guitar to sound like a 50s guitar, this will help. If you don't like 50s guitars and you like modern guitars, you won't like it at all.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I was like, oh, good for you, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's not saying, he's saying, I'm not saying it's better.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's more or...
But there's a reason they sounded like the way they did, and he's done the research.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what I would say about the light. I as always, when you're looking at new acquisitions, whether it's effects pedals, switching systems, guitars, you know, I think on the one hand, gas is fine, isn't it? You can say, I want this because I want it. But really, you ought to be saying, I want this because it's going to fulfill some sort of need that I have.
Yeah.
Tonally or physically. And physically might be the thing that swings it. We talk to so many people who just can't stand there with a £9 guitar for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, of course.
And that may outweigh any, you know, that might be at 90% of your problem and it sounds like 2% different. Does that matter to you? Not in the heat of a gig, it doesn't. And maybe it never does. Because if you can, I talk, it's funny, you know, when you're dug in a hole as far as me and Dan are, all you can see is mud. And you forget, I've got friends who are like, you know, you keep talking about all this old stuff like vintage AC. I said, I can't hear it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? And I'm like, fair enough, mate. Yeah, I know. Because people talk to me about stuff and I'm like, I just, what are you talking about? So I think it's got to be worth a punt, doesn't it? Everything's got to be worth a try. Especially if you can buy at a sensible price, you can always sell at a sensible price.
Yeah.
And that's all part of the learning.
Yep.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Or the eventual bankruptcy.
And I think, well, but that is one thing about that sort of gear not being the latest digital trend, not being caught in a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, it's always going to have value.
If you want to buy a pink guitar, buy it now. Pink guitars were like the thing, weren't they?
Yeah.
Everyone had a shell pink.
Yeah.
Or a shocking pink guitar.
Didn't your mate boom ding him, didn't he have a pink, didn't he play a pink guitar at the Grammys or something?
He had a Roxy pink PRS SE. So
I thought it was a Jackson.
He did have a Jackson, the Dinky or whatever it was, or the
Right.
Soloist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
And then they did they called it a Roxy pink Silver Sky.
Okay.
His PRS signature guitar.
I just remember him falling out with Fender and then coming out the Grammys with a pink Jackson.
Oh right, I didn't realise those two things were linked.
Yeah. It was really funny.
Yeah, so Dan's point is, if it's not flavour of the month, then you can probably pick it up for pretty sensible money.
Todd Roy says, I'm a nerd. And K. Cole says, aren't we all? Yeah, mate.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not and you're here, seek help.
If you've been wondering about that and you've been watching this show for more than 5 minutes and going, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Welcome to Nerdsville.
I learned a lot about brass yesterday, I can tell you.
Can I just circle back to the Wetterbox question?
Yes.
Peter said, I'm using a delay and reverb in kill dry mode in the Wetterbox and couldn't get the dry path in the loop with the Wetterbox without the mini mix too.
So if what you're trying to do is mix a dry signal and a wet reverb and a delay, you've got 3 signals there. So what the Mini Mix 2 will do will give you that third option to mix your dry signal in.
Oh, it's got 2 loops.
So it's still only 2 things, but you're basically, if you put your dry signal in, you've got your dry signal, you send one out to the wetter box, you've got your delays and reverbs in parallel, then mix that back in parallel with the mini mix. So, I mean, that makes sense. Off the top of my head.
So this is rather than having them in the same loop so that they're not series. Is that what?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. I'm assuming what you're doing is you've got it's like having two wetter boxes. You're splitting one off, going to two, splitting that off in parallel. That signal goes back and then back in parallel with the first one.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, maybe the answer is a 4-channel wetter box. There we go.
Goodness gracious.
There we go,
good.
Lizzie.
Oh, good.
Goodness gracious.
On to the next.
So you want two parallel lines, basically, is what you're saying, as opposed to one?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
The G3 can give you 10. That's the thing in G3. But you don't have individual control on the levels. You've got to do that from the pedals. But you can have 4 stereo effects and 2 outside dry signals and mix them all left and right in parallel.
Sounds like you might need a G3 then.
It's pretty groovy.
No?
Michael has asked, what would you recommend for a first switching device and when is it necessary?
That's a great question. Yeah, so when is it necessary? When it all depends on the pedals, right? It might be that you can have half a dozen pedals and you've got a serious buffer at the front, or even like a TU2 or something at the front, and you've got 6 true bypass pedals and maybe a buffered reverb at the end, and it's okay. You're not hearing or feeling too much loss. For me, the challenge was always, if you're using vintage pedals, any vintage pedal, you have to put in a switcher. Sorry, what do I mean by that? The things like old MXR Phase 90s and Memory Man and all these, a lot of vintage effects, the way that they did the bypass was really compromised. And you put one of those in your signal path and it's game over.
It's why Dan got into doing this in the first place, because he got his CE1, the big boss chorus and Mistress flanger and a couple of other things. And while they sounded amazing on their own, when you start, exactly what he just said, when you start putting them in a chain together, that's when it goes. And I think what a lot of people miss when you come in new to it is it's not really about the affected on sound so much. It's about what happens when they're turned off.
Exactly that.
And then there's a huge amount of confusion there as well. And it took me meeting Dan and just going through it for years to really understand it. Buffers are a problem and unbuffered is a problem, potentially.
Yeah.
So, for example, the reason I first got my first loop switcher was because I had a tube screamer that sounded awful when it was off. So with it just in the signal chain and off, it had a really detrimental effect on the other things that were happening. And so that's a subjective observation in that you might like it or you might not like it. What it did is it changed the interaction of my volume control. It meant what was hitting the delay pedal was different, etc., to the point where I'm like, God, I wish this thing just wasn't here when it was off. And I think the first one I ever bought was a full tone true bypass loop, which he did at the time. This was long before I met Dan, and that solved that problem. And that was just like an eye into going, now I get it. So, sorry to
please, it's great.
I'm trying to talk from a newbie's perspective about that sort of D-Day for me. For him, it was getting the old vintage effects and chaining together. For me, it was a specific problem. And then if you really want to know, and don't try not to get too depressed about it, if you love the sound of your amp, if you really love the sound of your amp where you've got your guitar cable, plug it into the front of your amp, have a listen to that, right? And play it for 10 minutes. Now plug into the front of your pedal board and then straight into the front of your amp and just listen to what happens. It's like throwing a blanket over it in some cases. That to me would be the case for your first true bypass loop switcher.
Yeah. I remember seeing a video when Andy. It came from the XTS guys in Nashville. Woodshed.
And Andy Beat Goes On.
And the beat goes on. Very good. Very good.
Come on.
Yeah, so he was doing his thing and
What, it was a video on a pedalboard build?
yeah.
Okay, and he had the revelation.
And he is like on and like filming going. He's like, and he said exactly that. So it feels like a blanket's been taken off.
Yeah. Now, it's also important to say that if you've got an absolutely hoofing Marshall Plexi and it's so bright, it's like literally cutting your throat every time you hit any of the plain strings, then having a huge coily cable a la Jimmy, introducing a great deal of capacitance, a wah-wah with a horrific bypass, a fuzz face, actually that maybe with not such a good bypass, and a univibe with a terrible bypass.
Yep.
Gets rid of all of that, or gets rid of a great deal of that nasty, and contributes to your sound.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And a lot of players absolutely get used to the dulling, which is a pejorative term, but anyway, get used to the dulling effect of having a bunch of pedals in line.
Yep.
So,
and it can be, I've had it with guitar players before when I've done rigs for them and they've plugged in and they've gone, oh.
Well, Matt Schofield.
Yeah, there you go. It's like, you know, it took a while to dial things back in.
Oh my God, this 100 Watt 2 Rock is really loud.
Yeah. So to answer your question, if you have a specific problem, if you find that you are losing tone and losing sensitivity, but also and the tap dance is an obvious one. If you're having trouble accessing the combinations of pedals that you use for sounds, but also, you know, certainly with the stuff that we do, if you want to be able to have a level of control and over your pedals, gain staging and parallel and wet dry and stuff, then it's really, you know,
that's a great point. So everything we spoke about up until that point was all about sound. Dan's talking about functionality. Do you want to be able to turn two pedals off and three on with the same foot switch? So that's another reason, and that will dictate the kind of loop switcher you buy.
Yeah.
But also, just to finish that off, if you're going from no loop switcher to loop switcher, you don't necessarily have to have every single pedal in a loop. So if you've got like 8 pedals and you don't want to go for a full 8, you could start by deciding which are the problematic ones or where the problems are, and just put those in isolated loops to get, you know, you don't have to go the whole hog the first time. But the other thing to think about there is longevity. So what you don't want to be doing, I always say this about power supplies. I've got a flipping cupboard full of power supplies that are no longer relevant. It's like, no, just get the big thing in the first place and then you'll never have to buy another one. But that comes with bitter experience.
And Neil has asked, just bought a D&M drive and loving it. If you could do a version 2, what would you change?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, D&M drive is such a cool thing. It was really interesting. I was out with Keeley earlier this year. I think it was April. And I just had the best time, and seeing all the versions of the D&M drives that we've done. It's amazing. I think we're knocking on 10,000 of those that we've sold now. It's just insane.
Well, he's sold.
He's sold. Sorry, yes, he's sold. But a version 2, I've actually got a prototype V2 which mixes the 2 in parallel.
We did talk about parallel, didn't we?
We did talk about parallel, but what was interesting is it didn't give the results I thought it would. The drives themselves aren't so vastly different. It's not like we've got a big muff and a tube screamer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not that vastly different. You might get subtleties, but the complexity into getting it to work like that, it's just,
It's such a great question. This sounds a bit convenient, but there's nothing obvious that I would change.
No.
Because having it, you know, you can go either way, me into Dan or Dan into me, Mrs. And having the TRS functionality,
Yeah.
so you can put it in separate loops if you use a loop switcher. There's a ton of headroom in it, which I really love.
Yep.
Like both sides get really loud, but my side gets really loud. And the range of the tone. So Dan's side has got quite a lot of distortion in it, a lot of overdrive, and it has quite a wide range on that tone pot.
Yeah,
so
it
you
does.
can have it present and like really rasping if you want, or just knock it back.
It's like I like top end.
Surely not. Oh man. Top end alloys, note delivery. My conversation with Gerhard, I will share it all at some point. In fact, I'm going to go to Germany and interview him because it is fascinating.
Awesome.
It's fascinating.
EasyJet, here we come.
Yeah. I was thinking road trip actually.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. We did talk about doing a road trip in America, getting Boss to spray paint a Nissan Cube as a DS1.
Metal Zone. It was a Metal Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, it's really funny. We were talking to Josh Scott about it, and
How's he doing?
He's okay.
Is he?
He's
on the
okay.
mend?
He's on the mend.
Good.
But he was like, oh, this is the best idea I've ever heard. Like, what can I do to help, see you guys? Because we wanted to get some knobs and put them on the car and stuff like that. And it's like, no, the knobs are inside the car.
I wanted the giant hot dog on the top, but that doesn't really fit. It's a bit, sorry, we're once again off topic.
No. Ripley Smith, I have a hot take. Burn me if you must. I still run a Boss S3.
Yep.
And it's a great workhorse for the added multi-effects as well as loops. Is there any chance Gigrid would ever do added FX built in?
So for those of you unaware, the Boss MS3, maybe just Google it, but it has a couple of loops in it, a few loops, but it has inbuilt things like delays and reverbs and some other effects so that you sort of get a halfway house between a loop switcher and a multi-effects unit.
Yeah, it's very handy.
Yeah.
Very handy thing. I have thought about that. The problem is everything that we make, I'm obviously very happy to use. If we did that, it would be effects that I like, and I don't know how limiting that is, because I would want to have an analog delay in there and a vibrato, and
I think it would be and I'm just spitballing here, Daniel. It would
I'm just
be
spitballing.
It would be a case for a subsidiary brand.
Yeah. Oh, that's
think.
interesting.
Yeah, like, look, this guy, right, makes guitars in America, really nice guitars in America, but he also does this SE range, which this is my guitar, by the way. It's been here for 10 years.
10 years. Such a great guitar.
7 years.
It's my favorite PRS.
And and just to offer a different proposition to a different customer.
Yeah.
There we are.
There you go.
I only want 15%.
And you shall have it, good sir.
Raf has said, Dan, I need to A/B test some guitar cables through the same amp, and the AB Baby is perfect for it. But what do I use to sum it before the amp's input?
Well, that's interesting. It depends on how you want to do it. I mean, I would actually say you're better off putting them in loops of a quartermaster. That's what I would do, because the AB Baby, you would need to go out of that and switch between them, and then go into a mixer. With the quartermaster, you just put them in loops and you can flip-flop between them.
So you're saying, if you want to AB2 cables, you're saying get a quartermaster, cable one, output, input.
Yep.
Loop 2,
Yep.
second cable, output, input.
Yep.
And then when you switch the loop of the quartermaster on, you're hearing the cable.
Exactly.
This is nerdier than even I thought possible. What?
Yeah, I think that would work.
Dude.
Yeah, just keep really short cables. Okay, grab a QMX2, have it right next to your guitar with like a foot of cable.
Yeah.
and then you amp really close,
That's important.
like a foot of cable to the amp, and then switch between the guitar cables, and you'll see. Now, the amazing thing, I shouldn't say amazing because I sound like an idiot, but the way that the Quartermaster works is there are no capacitors or filters anywhere in the signal path, whether it's at the input or the send or the return of the loop. You can run the signal in any direction. There's no DC restoration. There's no filters. So
He's saying you're going to hear the cable.
you're going to hear the cable. You're going to hear the cable.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, honestly, mate, one of the things, this just to nerd out for a second, one of the things that the new power supplies enabled us to do is to get rid of any capacitors in the signal path, right? Which is why when you put the humdinger or any isolated output from the stuff that we use, you can see a square wave down to 5 hertz or 100K. It is perfect.
Wow.
You can't do that with filtering. It just loses it. You get a lag and leading stuff edges, and it's like the difference is so obvious. And I remember, do you remember? We're doing, I think, a blues driver shootout, and there was a pedal came in from Crazy Tube Circuits, and I plugged it in and went,
the 6.
the 6. And I thought,
Yeah.
I really like this. And it came in and it says, there are no capacitors in the signal path of this. And I just went, oh, that's really interesting.
Can we just say for the record that capacitors are not bad?
No. They're absolutely essential. Absolutely essential. And 99.9% of all the effects pedals that you plug into will have them. And they block DC and they're filters and all that stuff. They're great. What we're trying to do is make sure that when you plug the pedals that you love into the stuff that we do, it doesn't change the sound. It keeps them perfect. So
a good way to test cables.
It has a great way to test cables. There you go.
Yeah. You might notice with cables, like testing 2 of equal length has much less marked differences than testing 2 of different lengths. And I appreciate that is the most obvious thing in the world to say.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you're around about the same capacitance, and what's that going to be? Anywhere between 70 and 150 per meter picofarads. If they're of similar capacitance, you're not going to hear a massive difference.
No.
Although Yuki Hershey did tell me the color of the shielding cable on the outside makes a difference.
Do you know why?
Because it's different density?
It's a different... So if you look at the... This is going, you guys are insane. So if you look at the... if you take a cable, right? Here's a cable. And then you look at the insulation inside and you've got that black insulation around the inside. Well, that black insulation is generally made black with carbon. And carbon is very conductive. So what you've got is a conductive element that's really close.
So it's the compound of and its thickness, of course.
And its thickness,
because
of course.
Depending on the color, it might be different thickness.
Exactly. And then you get this thing called an inverse square law, which changes also, but that can go away depending on the impedance of the signal that you put down the cable. So
I wish it was 1955 again. I could just have a rat tail Les Paul Gold Top and a Tweed Deluxe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whatever cable comes with it.
And you'd be very happy. Yeah. But no, there are reasons. I spent a couple of days down at Audio Kitchen with Steve, and he gets when he's building his amps, he gets cables, gets wire, puts jacks on the end of them, and listens to whether it's going one way or the other.
He's Planet Brain.
He's
Planet Beard.
Man, he is committed to it being the best thing he makes his own transformers. I mean, it's just
slightly tangential, but I listen to the Sound on Sound podcast with producers and artists, and even producers talk about Steve
really
and his gear.
Yeah.
Like studio people talk
Yeah.
about Steve. It's
Yeah.
unusual. They normally sort of consider amp builders as lesser humans, but
yeah. Oh man, I remember I was in the studio with Biffy Clyro for a week. Cherd couldn't make it, and so he asked me to go down and just be there to help with the guitars and stuff. And I walked in, and Adam, their producer, we're getting everything set up, and they'd already done the bass, and he was using a bass chopper.
yeah.
And he's like, it's the best bass sound he's ever heard. And it's like, it was astonishing. And we had the one that I've got, the big tree, not the big trees, there's the little chopper, big chopper.
Big chopper.
And like when you hear it recorded and in the mix,
Yeah. It's good stuff.
great stuff.
Busy.
We've just got a couple of minutes left and a couple of questions to get through.
Simon VRDJ says, we've reached peak tangent.
Scott Curry, Mick, why do you have the H&K rotosphere on
Because
the
it's
dry
the best.
side versus wet? I've tried both and they do sound a bit different.
Why do I have it on the dry side versus the wet side? Because, and it would be a lie if I said I've spent ages A-Bing it and listening to it, Scott. What it actually is I want the rotary speaker to be a separate thing. So exactly as if you had your own Leslie, imagine that, or Vibratone, or the Yamaha one, a separate machine that is driven by a separate amplifier. If I've got delays and reverbs going on, and that's the sort of core guitar sound in the wet amp, I want the rotary speaker to be a separate thing. So in the way that Davey G would run his wobbly thing, it's a separate deal. Whereas
check out my wobbly thing. Where is it?
Oh, you've got
it's
it.
here.
From the aforementioned Matt
From
Schofield.
the aforementioned Matt Schofield. we were doing
Handsome he is too.
we did it's looking great. He popped over, and because we'd mentioned it, we did the show on the Vibratone,
yeah.
and I just lost my mind. And Matt sends me a text to say, I've got one sat in my garage, it's not doing anything.
Have you fired it up?
And it's got the American power supply on it, so I need to get that sorted out. But I've turned everything, and everything
got a
works
couple of,
beautifully.
things at the
I'll
office.
bring it down to the studio.
Yeah. So just to finish that, if everything was going through the wet with the Vibratone, it would be too much.
Yes.
I like the Vibratone to be a separate thing is the answer. Yeah.
That is a very interesting thing as well about doing the wet dry thing. And I've just done a video that'll be going up on the Gigru channel soon talking about the wet dry split is really great, having your wet effects going to one amplifier and drives alone going to another. But actually then putting a signal that's got a bit of movement. If you imagine this, right? You've got your overdrives and you split it. If you've got your delays and reverbs that both still have dry signal, right? So you've still got dry signal going to both amplifiers, but your wet's only going to one. If I put a vibrato before the delay and reverb, that dry signal is now modulating, but then the delays and reverbs are modulating, right? If I instead put the vibrato on the dry channel, it modulates against the dry signal in the delays and reverbs, but the delays and reverbs are being affected by the dry signal only.
So it gives you almost like a third dimension.
It is Ben-Hur.
Actually, a fourth dimension.
Huge.
A fourth dimension.
It's
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah.
Lizzie's heard it. She loves it.
I love it.
She was saying the other day, do you have the vibrato on the dry channel only? I said, it's so obvious though, right, Lizzie?
Yeah.
The difference is so obvious.
I know we're out of time, but it is one of those acoustic things that you do need to be in the room for. I mean, if you hear it recorded, unless you're hearing binaural or some other crazy thing, you don't really get it. But when you're in the room, you really, really, really get it, and that's the answer.
Indeed.
Thank you. T-Boy42, is Gigrig currently shipping to America?
Gigrig is currently shipping to America. When you buy something from Gigrig,
DDP.
it is all duties and what's it called? Tariffs. Duties and tariffs are prepaid by us. So the price that you pay on the website means it gets shipped straight to your door. There's no customs and stuff that you've got to pay. It's all, we've tried to make it as obvious as we can on the website.
Yeah.
But it bears repeating. We have included all of the duties and tariffs in the price, and basically we've taken half the hit. So we've taken like 5% and we've increased it by 5% just to try and,
make it possible for everybody.
Because, it goes without saying our biggest market's America. And if we price ourselves out of the game in America, then it would be very hard for us to continue doing what we're doing. So we try and, we don't trade on huge margins. We don't trade on even normal margins. We trade on very, very small margins. So,
incidentally, are you getting a new iPhone? Do you like it?
I dislike this one enough.
Yeah.
To want to dislike another one even more.
Yeah.
So
have you seen it? The new one?
No.
Oh, it looks weird.
I haven't seen it.
It looks like something.
You'd be so proud of me, man. I've spent so little time on my phone recently.
Let's give Dan a round of applause.
Well done.
Thank you.
Dan.
Thank you. If you can do it on the weekend, pick a day, which Sunday's great. Turn your phone off in the morning.
Someone said in the TPS comments, no phone after dinner.
No phone after dinner. No phone.
Beautiful.
No phone in the toilet. Game changer.
That's a game changer.
It is a game changer. If you're so used to having
Catherine calls it poo tube.
Having a poogle.
Yeah.
And it's like
too much information.
It's my best idea. Well, I have a very creative moment in the shower because I'm not around tech.
Yeah.
And so many of my ideas come in the shower.
Same for me on the dog walk.
Right. Okay.
Free.
When you're awake, free
brain, no phone.
And I'm finding ideas have started firing again.
Yeah.
It's honestly,
crazy.
It's wonderful.
Should we just try?
More? Let's get a couple. Let's get 2 more, 3, okay. 7 more, 7 Lizzie. More.
There are 4.
Okay, let's go.
Okay,
let's
go.
Go.
Glenn.
We'll be succinct.
The VHT D50 has a pin MIDI input for its foot switch.
Yes.
How would you go about switching the amp channels and the preamp boost with the G3?
So what you need to do is contact Diesel, get them to send a pin out diagram. The DIN has got nothing to do with MIDI. It's just the connector that they use to connect the foot switch. So contact Diesel, get a pin out diagram, and it'll tell you which pins connecting to what access this channel. When you do that, we can make a custom little interface that you will go from the cable, the foot switch cable into that, and that out of the interface into the 2 remote switches, and you'll be able to do it.
Yes. Using presets. So it's via remote switches, not via MIDI.
Exactly.
Are there commercially available converters? It depends on which pins are doing what.
It depends on which pins are doing what, because
my 2-rock's the same. It's really annoying.
Every amp is different, and even with Diesel, even though they use the same connector, the pin outs on different amps are different.
Yeah.
So just contact Diesel, send us the pin out diagram.
Pin 4 for heavy. Pin 6 for...
Frankie has said, did Dan get his blues driver back from Andy?
No. I tell you why. I haven't needed it up until recently, but I was at Andy's house last time I went to America, and he was still using it. And I'm like, no, you hang on to it, dude. It's a really good one. It's a really good one.
Adam Stewart, I recently got a Gen X14 and I'm confused about how to power my G2. Do I need the old generator?
No. So all you do is with the G2, you should be able to, just trying to think the current draw of G2.
600 or something?
Yeah, I think it's 600. So, okay, here's what you do. Use one of the 500 milliamp outputs and just power the G2 directly from that. What will happen is it'll draw a bit more current on startup, but there are big caps in there, so that should be fine. Or you just use one of the 1,000 milliamp outputs. If
you're not already using them for something else.
Yeah, if you're not using for something else, use one of the 1,000 milliamp outputs, and that will be absolutely fine. Yeah.
Thank you. And the last question from Henning. I know there are pedals that do sidechain effects. Is there a way to produce the same effect with a mic preamp, and gate?
You need a parallel send to do that. The sidechain thing is fascinating. I remember
Neon Egg has a great sidechain.
The Neon Egg.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Not very pedalboard friendly, but still just fabulous.
Yeah. But I remember getting an old school rack compressor when I first started doing some recording back in Australia. And then using sidechain compressor and
so just explain what that is.
So you've got two feeds, and the compressor can compress the signal in a parallel signal path. So I could, like, for example, I would have background music playing, and when I talk, it was compressing the background music so that it was the vocal was triggering the compressor on the side chain. So as I talked, it would bring the music back down, and when I stopped talking, the music would come back up.
Yeah, you send something to it. You hear it in dance music a lot, where the bass drum is giving that. It's giving the sort of. Yeah, it's very.
Yeah,
it's that thing, but I guess could be used really creatively if you're talking about mics and putting that in a parallel loop to do the job.
Yeah.
And that is the end. No.
Spaceman effects.
Oh yeah,
do some really fantastic sidechain things.
What do you do when you see a spaceman?
Parking it, man. Come on. And on that note,
get in.
No. It's time to go.
Thank you all for joining us. Mate, thank you so much for coming down.
No worries.
It's wonderful.
I was desperately trying not to make it a repeat of Mondays on TPS, but I think that was interesting.
Yeah.
I think the nerd level was higher.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. The nerd level was higher, view level lower.
No, it was brilliant.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you on Monday for VCQ, and then we'll see you next Thursday, I think.
With a better guest.
Yeah, not me. Mick will be here for someone else.
I will have taken over.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, that was very good. Thank you. There's so many questions.